Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Super Metroid 100% tournament. I'm Enmet, and we are watching InNoRush versus JanusZeal. InNoRush got a PB of 1:32:24 on D tier, while Janus got a PB of 1 hour 43 minutes and 36 seconds. So we've just seen the very basic start of the game, basically getting morph ball and getting the first missile pack. So we'll see our runners going towards bombs, getting through that infamous climb. Here we're going to fight the bomb Chorizo. So the bomb Chorizo's got 800 health. Ideally, you want to shoot 5 shots at him as a starter, and then farm his bombs that he's throwing out, so that you get missiles, and then you want to fire 7 missiles at him. And 1 missile is 100 damage, and 1 normal shot is just 20 damage, so 5 shots equals 100, and there you have it, basically. Alright, so heading to Green Breenstar, we're going to see basically get the first super missile pack in the game. And in speedrunning, this is really the first sequence break that you'll see, because the players here will do a mock ball to get past the gate. Normally you would actually need you will need a speed booster by then to get past, but a mock ball is just enough to get past the gate. And here's really the first route deviation. You will see our runners here get the reserve tank. Basically, after getting the super missiles, you saw them damage boost back. InNoRush did not get the return mock ball, but compared to any percent, they damage boost back from the super missile pack and into the reserves room. So you just saw them get it. Ideally, you want to do a mock ball there to get past the gates, but it's a really tight mock ball to get. finally we're entering Red Bryn Star, also known as Lower Bryn Star. Getting the best beam in the game. To some people, at least in this category, it's a very useful beam. It's actually Spacer. You can see that both of our players doesn't really have that much health. They both have below 100, and you really want to have, well, at least 100 ideally. You can make it past if you play it safe, but you want to remove the risk of getting health bombed by either mini Kraid or the big Kraid, the real Kraid. InNoRush has just entered Kraid. Hopefully we'll see the quick kill, which is basically killing Kraid before we can see his lower body. Does not get that super missile in, that's very unfortunate. Let's see if he can get a comeback. And he still got the quick kill. A very nice comeback right there. Kraid can be really frustrating if you happen to miss, if you happen to not get the quick kill, simply because he'll when you see his full body, he's like, he doesn't really want to open his mouth, so you have to kind of like mash shots into him just to get him to open his mouth, and then you got his claw and all that in a way. Got these jet skis that can eat up your shots. Ooh, Janus did not get a quick kill. Let's see how this goes. Still manages to get some shots in, and his health is pretty decent. Still killed Kraid without any issues, really. Right, we can see InNoRush getting the cathedral missiles. Janus is getting a very comfortable item, really, the high jump boots, which is a really underrated item, simply because in those categories where you don't pick them up, you'll notice that getting through the rooms gets a lot more difficult. Ooh. Bubble in the mountain really being the keg attack right there. That keg attack is the king of the hill. Gotta beat him with an uppercut. Even top tier players tend to get trolled by that keg attack sometimes. Alright, InNoRush with the Nike boots. The speed booster. So far, we've seen InNoRush, going for early Crocomire route. The difference between the two main routes in 100% is early or late Crocomire. If he would have gone for late Crocomire, he would have just gone left and through Frog Speedway, but he went down and past the gate. So Crocomire can have, or Crocomire does have a lot of RNG to him. He basically decides to swipe every now and then, and it's all random whether you get a lot of swipes or don't get many swipes. On average, you tend to get about 3 or 4 at least. If you get anything less than that, you're just really lucky. difference between the two routes that I mentioned is early Crocomire is so-called the old route. It's slightly slower. We're talking about 20 seconds, but it is a much safer route because some of the tricks involved are a bit easier, and you have one more E-tank while in the wrecked ship. The new route, while saving time, does have one less E-tank, so it gets a lot scarier. That being said, the whole Crocomire area in the new route becomes a lot easier. We can see InNoRush, and he does get the Indiana Jones. Using grapple beam right there can be really tricky because of how you need to time hitting the Rippers. There are some decent setups for it, but it can still fail. You need to be pretty precise. In new routes, the reason why it's easier in new route to do the whole Crocomire area is because you have space jump by then. So the grapple missiles right there, for instance, becomes a lot easier. Just see a high five right there. Janus decided to go straight for the grapple missiles instead of getting them after grapple beam. He got them before grapple beam, which is a really safe method. You don't have to rely on grappling those rippers in the air. InNoRush is on his way up through Red Tower. Is he going for the Alpha Spark? And he got the Alpha Spark. Ooh, and Janus also does a spark for that rising lava room. You can lose a lot of damage in that room, so doing a spark isn't really a bad idea for consistency. InNoRush is having some trouble with Red Tower, but he finally gets up. Red Tower is another thing that's actually easier in New Route because you have the Ice Beam, so you can just freeze those Rippers and use them as platforms instead. There are a couple of safe strats though. I've seen some people use power bombs to kill off those Reapers because it's mainly those that are a problem. They block off your shots to break the top block, and you tend to get hit while trying to wall jump up. If you don't want to use power bombs, you can use super missiles as well. Ooh, InNoRush with that nasty side hopper room. Those side hoppers does a lot of damage to you, so you have to be careful. Especially considering that you're getting through that room right before Fantoon. And then you have to do the Ocean Spark as well. So there's a lot of health that is going to lose a lot of health from sparks and all that on your way to Fantoon, but you also need to survive Fantoon, obviously. Janus got up Red Tower. There's some really safe strats. Unfortunately, he got hit. I mean, he fell in the Vile Plume. That room is called the Hellway for a reason. Alright, so we got direct ship for InNoRush. We'll very soon be getting to Fantoon, our favorite boss of the game. Now he's very infamous, mainly because of his RNG. Fantoon's got different patterns he's moving at, and you can't hit him until he opens up his eye. And that is decided basically by randomness. And he's got 3 different patterns: fast, slow, and mid. Kind of self-explanatory. Obviously you want fast, but that is a very low chance of happening. Aside from his RNG, it can just be a really annoying boss to fight. He's got all these flames, for instance, that can hit you or block off your shots or anything. There are some really safe methods to fight Fantoon, even for so to say casuals, but you do want to save time. I mean, you can fire off a super missile at Fantoon, which does 600 damage, and that's pretty decent. But the problem is, if you fire a super missile at Fantoon, he will rage at you. He will get in this special phase where you can't hit him, and he'll just throw these flames at you. And the reason why I'll bring this up is it's pretty slow, but it's 100% safe if you use pseudo screw. Basically, hold a shot and spin attack, spin jump. He can't hit you with his flames that way, but the end range phase is pretty slow, so most players don't do that. So Janus on his way to Fantoon as well. We also have InNoRush going to probably the scariest room in 100%, also known as the Spiky Death Room. So, kind of self-explanatory as well. You can see it coming up right here. These spikes, they do 100 damage to you, so you have to be very careful. Usually you don't have more than 200. So 2 hits and you're out. You have to, if you happen to fall down, you better land on those spikes that do 40 damage instead. Some people kind of panic and they get hit by the platform from above. And that's the worst thing that that can happen to you, basically getting hit by the platform at all. But he seemed to survive that, but he's having some troubles with the E-tank room. If you want to play it really safe, you can use grapple beam. It's not that much slower anyway. But he's really trying to get this jump. And he finally gets it. Ooh, seems like Janus is... Ooh, finally gets Fantoon. It was a bit low there for some time. I think he is in a really unfortunate position right now. He's only got 31 health. He's got reserves health, but we don't know how much. The thing is that if you're low on health after beating Fantoon, you might as well just want less than 30 health, so that when Fantoon, like when his drops shows up, you'll get health drops or health bombed basically. Attic coming up for InNoRush now. There's really a lot of different strats for the attic. It's probably one of the most significant rooms in 100%. Also in any percent also got a lot of strats for the attic. Also, InNoRush is in the worst room in the game in this category, which is the robots room. Those robots, ideally you want to take damage and spin jump. If you're lucky, you'll get clipped through. You'll clip through basically, but that doesn't always work. It's kind of random whether it will work for you or not. Just gotta, you know, you just gotta pray that you get through. And overall, those robots are really annoying, and they fire these lasers at you and all that. So the worst room in the game, really, it's either that room or the Spiky Death room in 100%. InNoRush is having some trouble getting that missile pack. There is a safe strat you can do if you don't want to do that jump. Basically, you can just do a diagonal spark instead, which is very safe and consistent. It obviously takes away some health and is just a tiny bit slower. But the main reason why it isn't used is because of it taking away health from you, and health really becomes a big deal later on, because you need around 240 health for the gauntlet spark, which we'll get to that later. Ooh, Janus is having a bit of trouble in that spiky room. At least on the way back, it's still pretty safe. You just got an E-tank, so it's not as much of a problem as it is on the way to the E-tank, but you do not want to get hit because it's going to cost you time. If you get hit too many times, you can't do the gauntlet spark without refilling at the ship. And that's about a 20-second loss. But I mean, sometimes it's just better if your run survives at all. There we can see Janus fighting through the worst room in the game. Really, those robots and getting hit by sparks in the ceiling. It's such a nasty room. I mean, it's not really lethal or anything. It's not the hardest room. It's just such an annoying room, basically. So after getting gravity, we can see InNoRush getting the ocean missiles. He's coming up to the gauntlet spark in a moment. And Janus did a really decent setup for the top missiles or outside missiles. It's interesting to see an up spark because when players spark to that missile pack, they tend to do a diagonal spark. But you know, anyone's got this strat basically. You gotta use something that works for you. I'm not sure what InNoRush is doing right now. He decides to not break those blocks for some reason. He's got 217 health. And he just scoop sparked, which might be a good thing actually, because he was probably planning on sparking his way to the power bomb, but he can't really afford that. He has to save himself here if he wants to do the gauntlet spark without any issues. But it seems like he's not even doing the wraparound shot. He did not have enough health anyway. But this can be scary. The acid still does damage to you even though you have gravity suit. And he does not want to die like Zeus did. And he gets through. Fortunately, there's an E-tank right there. So he'll be fine. That's really probably the last place in the run where you can like actually die. I suppose you can die to dragon chain damage, and there's always stuff that can happen, but like it's really the last part in the run where it's common to die. Usually, as long as you get past Spiky Death Room, it's pretty rare to die after that room. It all comes down to basically saving or losing time, whether in the context of health management, but you're unlikely to die. But then we have Torian, of course. We'll get to that later. So it seems like Janus refilled at the ship. That is not a bad choice to do. There's really one more advantage to refilling at the ship, and that's basically your ammo. It's not a big deal, but it's very convenient to have this ammo refill as well. And there we could see Janus getting the wraparound. The wraparound shot, by the way, works. As far as I know, it's because every room has a copy of the same room located at the right side. So, if I recall correctly, what happens is if you shoot a room, a pretty, say, big room that's really like there's a lot of scrolling inside that room. If you shoot somewhere on the right side, sometimes you can hit the door that's actually located on the very left, but because you hit the copy of that room, its door, but it's really the same door, or counts as the same door. Interesting route shows from InNoRush decides to go for the side hopper room before spawn supers, even though he did not go for the quick drop, the Mission Impossible strat, which means that you quick drop through in that big side hopper room, and then you wall jump up. It's a very difficult strat to get. So another trick coming up here from InNoRush. He shot a super missile, basically that's called the Spore Spawn backdoor, and the way it works is basically fires off a super missile, and by scrolling the screen in a very perfect position, it can make it so that that super missile, like, it takes 2 frames for it to despawn once it's out of screen. So just so the positioning it does basically makes it so that super missile just hits the super block before despawn. InNoRush is getting out of the basement. Ooh, Janus fell down. But we get to see, maybe get to see. Alright, we did not get to see the animal that was located down there. I believe it's called the Dashora. We get to see the Itacoons singing the item fanfare, but we don't get to see the Dashora or anything in 100%, unless someone falls down and really tries to meet up with it. So, Red Tower revisit. We'll see InNoRush on his way to Meridian. Janus is trying to get the back door. I think he got it. You could see him using several different positions. Also, shoutouts to Mama Turtle. One of the few animals in this game worth saving. The other one being Shaq 2. Entering Meridia Beach. You don't really get to see a lot of the beach section in this game. The other beach section is located basically at the back door in Wrecked Ship. And it isn't really used in any route except for map completion, of course. And obviously 13%, but that's TAS only. So far. We did not get to see any Merida Beach balls. The Merida Beach ball is getting a mark ball through that tight gap. Really difficult mark ball to get. Also, correction, you do get to see the wrecked ship backdoor in RBO, actually. Ooh, butt wound. Butt wound can be really tricky to hit sometimes. He moves around really fast in circles and you can pretty much only hit his head. So Sweet Healthy by InNoRush. Also Mama Turtle, exiting Mama Turtle. Janus just did that. Kinda wanted to do another shout out to Mama Turtle. So InNoRush is entering the third boss in the game. Major boss. That is Dragon. Dragon can be very frustrating. Ooh. I tried to do an opener there with an X Factor and a Shine Spark, but unfortunately it sparked the wrong way. There's also a slightly easy strat. Ooh, nice blue suit, by the way. You can only get the blue suit from Shine Spark and Dragon. But there is an easy strat where you basically get grabbed by Dragon and use Grapple Beam. We'll see the blue suit being used right, let's see, right here somewhere. Alright, he does this safer setup. Also known as the reverse halfie. Maybe we'll see a high five coming up right here. That's very close to one. Nice short charge. Janus coming up to butt wound. Ideally, you don't want to use too many super missiles. You want to save some for the late game. Mostly in the long run, you want to save them for Torian and possibly the Crystal Flash backup. But you also want to get rid of butt wound as fast as possible. So InNoRush is going to meet our friend Shaq2. Shaq2 hype. Also, shoutouts to Cristofalo. In this room, Shaq2's room, is the Tinder room, basically, where Cristofalo just decides to take a look at his Tinder. We all know it's the Tinder man. Ooh, okay, so Janus is trying to get the grapple kill. He's going for some fried shrimp. Nice job right there. Yeah, you don't want to mistake Shaq2 for Shaq Fu. So now that InNoRush has Plasma Beam, he's got the strongest beam in the game, except for Hyper Beam, of course. So if the game wasn't free enough, it's getting even freer. We get to see Shaq coming up again soon. Janus is going to get to Shaq. Meanwhile, InNoRush is about to escape Meridia. Meridia probably is the nastiest segment in this category, at least. It's really pretty annoying in most categories. Not to mention anything suitless. But there's really a lot of tricks that has to go right in Meridia. Like you gotta fight dragon, gotta get that full halfie, and you gotta, you know, find time to exit Shaq room because he's such a nice guy and you just can't leave his room. That's how it is, right, guys? Right? Alright, we're seeing a crate missile cleanup. That's a crate slayer cleanup, which is probably still a little bit more accurate. Gotta get back for those missiles, basically, because you don't have the power bombs while visiting Crate for the first time. So InNoRush is on his way to Ice Beam. You can really take advantage of Spring Ball in this segment. There's pretty much a Spring Ball strat for every room. Not only is it very swaggy to Spring Ball strats, but there's also some really decent, consistent setups for them. And personally, I actually prefer doing them, even the slower ones, because of consistency. Ooh, nice backup there by InNoRush. Really, if you're going to get those missiles, but you don't get all the way up, best thing you can do is just aim down and shoot to freeze that keeler. So InNoRush on his way to Ridley's lair, also known as Lewinolfair. Janus has 2 items left, coming up right here. Then he is out of Meridian. Ooh, nice spring ball there by InNoRush. He doesn't get all the way through, but he still gets that. Basically, as long as you get through the door transition with spring ball, you'll find you just have to be fast on your way up from the lava, or in this case, it's actually acid. But pretty much regardless of how you do the setup, if you happen to keep your speed while getting into that room, as long as you lay the power bomb in the right position, it's not actually that much slower, if slower at all, if you happen to fall down in the acid. Alright, so we get to see Golden Chorizo. Wow, it was really aggressive. Fortunately, there's a super easy setup for Golden Chorizo. Getting that screw attack. Janus taking advantage of springballing. Got Pillar Spark. And shoutouts to Mickey Mouse, because we're entering the Mickey Mouse missiles. Simply because that room looks like Mickey Mouse. So Janus is also getting into low and off air soon. those bombs of shame, which really isn't the power bombs of shame in 100%. They're only shameful in any percent, because you have to pick them up if you run out of power bombs. Very safe but effective pirate stream there by InNoRush. So right here we got Ridley for the millionth time in the Metroid series. He's just died so many times and just, I don't know, reincarnate. Janus is also fighting Golden Trees right now. Pretty good fight right there. Maybe we'll see another high five coming up. Really depends. It seems like Janus, he had some trouble with any percent worse in the game. And we can see the Mickey Mouse missiles once again. That's very close to a high five though. Oh, Janus fell down. Such a nasty room to, if you happen to break out of spin or fail your space jumps. Janus really wanted that Kego. So another meme room coming up right here. It's a room that looks like Franker's Sea basically. So we got the Franker's Sea missiles. Janus is fighting Ridley. Ooh, Janus. Ooh, we got the reserves kicking in. Had to be really careful there by the end. But fortunately, there's an E-tank coming up right after. So InNoRush is done with North Bear now. So he's on his way to X-Ray. Also, Janus is on a really good pace. He's almost minus 5 minutes right now. That's really impressive. Always great to see someone on PB pace or getting a PB during a tournament race. Alright, so InNoRush picked up the wall hack, also known as the X-ray. Reverse slinking? No. It's fun to see at least players attempting to go for it. So we got a Franker C room again, and the Franker C missile. While Janus is leaving low in warfare. And InNoRush is back into Metroid 1 for a moment. Also known as Retro Brinstar. Because of that very reason. It's the starting rooms of Metroid 1, basically. And here we'll see the infamous Billy Mays missiles. Because... But wait, there's more. InNoRush coming up to Mother Brain's wheat stash. This is another Metroid 1 room. Basically Mother Brain's old chamber. And that's why it's the wheat stash, because hidden right there in her old chamber there's a missile pack. Seems like Janus is doing great cleanup now. It's really just a matter of choice when you pick them up. It's really not much of a difference. I guess if you pick them up after Meridia, you can do the Springbolt strat, which is pretty damn hype. It's a really cool strat. So, InNoRush just picked up the Tooth Hurty missiles. Or the dental missiles, because 230, Tooth Hurty. Get it? Yeah, that wasn't very good. We've really gotten a lot of new names for the tournament. Or during the tournament, there's been a lot of commentators before me that has just made up these names, and they've pretty much become standard. And G4. So in case anyone of you missed the memes, all these missile memes, they'll be coming up for you in a moment. Again, Janus will pretty much do a reprise of that pretty soon. Meanwhile, InNoRush is in Toyon, playing it safe in the Metroid room. At least in the first Metroid room. Alright, so we got the Super Metroid coming up right here. Yes, that is the Super Metroid. I love saying that. Oh, it does not get the Super Metroid still. It's really unfortunate. But it has the really nice backup, which is basically facing right. That is a big deal because if you face right after you've gotten grabbed by the Super Metroid, you will save about 40 frames. Samus has no stand-up animation while she is facing right. So she'll just instantly stand up compared to facing left, which means she has to do this stand-up animation. Get the sabotage skip coming up here. Alright, we got it. We got him. And as a reprise, Janus is about to get the Mother Brain Weed Stash missiles. That is a really convenient power bomb, by the way. He didn't need to break any of those blocks. So 20 shots from InNoRush. He has to do 20 shots to not kill Mother Brain, but proceed into the next phase. Ooh, he does get some surprise ketchup from Mother Brain's fast food restaurant though. On today's menu we have meatballs, onion rings, ketchup, french fries, and rainbow something. I believe someone said Skittles because taste the rainbow, so let's go with that. InNoRush is doing the stand-up glitch, which means he just stood up. Through this scripted fight where basically the baby Metroid or the Super Metroid heals up Samus to full health. Samus is supposed to still be incapacitated at the moment. It just so happens if you have more than 700 health, you can do a stand-up glitch. So you can damage Mother Brain while all this is happening. You can see some glitched graphics while that is happening. Get wrecked, Mother Brain. By the Skittles speed. Go, 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 run like the wind. That room can be pretty tricky too. You have these wall climbing pirates just shooting stuff at you, going from left to right and right to left. I also have Janus and Torian right now. Oh, no, 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 InNoRush. Don't go there. Don't do it. No, what are you doing? Let's pretend that didn't happen. Alright, so InNoRush finishes with an SRL time of 1 hour, 34 minutes and 11 seconds. Well done. GG. Ooh, and Janus is really wise enough to face right while getting grabbed. Ooh, Janus is doing the interesting strats. You know, who needs Sabotage Skip anyways? I just get excited whenever I see someone not doing the sabotage skip. It's obviously not as fast, but it's a fun variation. Samus got enough ammo to just say, get out of my way, and destroy all that sabotage. Getting that ketchup. And we get the Skittles beam. Because once again, taste the rainbow. And we got Dear Force from InNoRush. Also shoutouts to 69 Missiles. %. Well done. GG InNoRush. Taste the rainbow, Mother Brain. Taste the rainbow. Pretty clean escape so far from Janus. And he does the right thing. Well done. JanusZeal finishes with an SRL time of 1 hour, 41 minutes flat. GG to both runners. Also, shoutouts to Janus getting quite a personal best there. He finished with minus 4 minutes and 54 seconds. So that's a really big PB right there. Like I said, always great to see players getting a new personal best during their tournament runs or races. Also, so we're basically just waiting for Janus to reveal his item percentage. Meanwhile, I'm going to say that we got a couple of more races coming up. One of them being a race between Cristofalo and another runner. I don't really know who exactly, but I heard it's going to be a pretty epic race. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and please, don't save the animals. Yes, 100%. Thank you very much to InNoRush. Thank you, JanusZeal. I'm Enmit, and thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next mission. Also, stay tuned for more races coming up soon.